Each time we leave home, we expect to return to our families. Whether we're driving, biking, walking, or riding in a bus or train, we all have a right to move around Central Florida safely. 1,382 people died on our roads in a recent 5-year period. More than 1 in every 4 of those were people on foot or on a bike, our most vulnerable travelers. Even one traffic death is unacceptable. At MetroPlan Orlando, we're doing our part to plan a safer transportation system for the future. We're committed to working toward a world where there are no traffic deaths and injuries on Central Florida roads, a concept called Vision Zero. Working with our local and state partners, we're prioritizing traffic safety as a public health issue and a transportation issue. Tackling complex safety challenges requires a systems approach. Road designs and policies must be coordinated to reduce the number and severity of crashes. When people make mistakes navigating the transportation system, it shouldn't cost them their lives. Safety is the #1 priority for MetroPlan Orlando's Year 2045 plan. We look at moving people in various ways and figure out what needs to be fixed so that all pieces of the system connect safely. Here's an inside view of how this process works. Let's start with pedestrians. We need to both walk along and to cross roads without harm. The 2045 plan is the most comprehensive and data-driven regional analysis we've ever done on sidewalks and crosswalks. First, we find critical sidewalk needs by evaluating: does the road carry a lot of traffic? Is the sidewalk completely missing or located only on one side of the street? Continuous sidewalks on both sides encourage more walking. How close is the location to schools or transit? The closer we are, the greater the need to fill in these sidewalk gaps, because more people will be walking. Second, we focus on opportunities to design more crosswalks. We examine distance between existing crossing locations, where crossing-related pedestrian crashes are happening, and the location of transit stops. After completion of the 2045 plan, MetroPlan Orlando will work directly with local governments on the potential locations to determine exactly where new crossings are possible and what projects can be funded. Now let's talk about getting around on a bicycle. Abilities vary widely, from the beginner to the experienced person who rides thousands of miles per year. To encourage cycling, MetroPlan Orlando wants to expand the network of existing streets and trails we know are low stress to bike on. The 2045 plan evaluates bicycle needs using a level of traffic stress analysis for the entire regional network. This helps us understand how a person on a bike feels while riding. The index assigns a score to every street and tells us how comfortable it is to ride a bike, whether or not there's a bicycle facility present. Scores range from 1 to 4. A score of 1 or 2 is comfortable for most people. Roads with fewer lanes, slow speeds, and lower traffic volumes are enjoyable for most riders. A score of 3 is comfortable for the confident cyclist. A 4 is for higher speed roads with a lot of cars, which makes it uncomfortable for even the most experienced cyclist. Once we know where the bicycle needs are, we can proactively support projects that improve connectivity of the bicycle network, because ultimately, we want the network to work for everyone. When it comes to transit, safety can mean a lot of different things to those of us who ride buses and trains. MetroPlan Orlando looks at transit safety from the perspective of the rider. We track performance measures like transit injuries, fatalities, and mechanical failures. Federal requirements ensure that buses, trains, and related equipment are safe, well-maintained, and not past their useful life. And since riders walk or bike to transit stops, it's important to track pedestrian and bicycle safety for riders connecting to transit. The 2045 plan seeks to increase bus and train ridership, convenience, safe access to work, and access to essential services like food and healthcare. Lastly, let's talk about drivers. More than 157,000 people in Central Florida were injured in crashes in a recent 5-year period. Cars are getting safer and have more safety features than ever before, but human drivers are getting more distracted. Until technology makes it possible for every person on the road to have a completely self-driving car that takes the human driver out of the equation, humans will need to be attentive behind the wheel, whether they're assisted by technology or not. Drivers especially should be mindful of pedestrians and cyclists. The 2045 plan looks at crash rates, fatal and serious injury rates, and the overall number of pedestrian and bicycle crashes. MetroPlan Orlando is conducting detailed safety studies on high crash corridors to help partners advance projects that improve safety. Crash statistics help us understand problems on the transportation system. We've released a new online crash data dashboard for Central Florida, where you can look at crash information on an interactive map and see statistics specific to your area. The dynamic dashboard allows you to view, sort, and filter crash data by year and crash type in a 5-year rolling data set. You can also look up crashes on certain roads or search for trends by type of crash. For more information, visit MetroPlanOrlando.org, where you'll find the crash dashboard, 2045 plan technical reports with greater details on the planning work from this video, and a safety page. Transportation isn't just moving cars. It's creating a shared system that serves many purposes. We must consider the needs of all road users as we redefine what safety means in our region. Only then can we eliminate traffic deaths and injuries.